Okay, so what I've done was after we just resoldered the ESC back, just for the sake of time, like I always say, for the sake of time, I just reinstalled the two bottom fasteners with Loctite. Loctite and me is my best friend. So you gotta have Loctite and Mr. Allen keys. So I use Mr. Allen keys and Mr. Loctite, blue Loctite actually, just to mount the bottom. I got that done. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna install the ESC back onto the actual zip tie, plug it up to the motor, and take out the red and black wire from the actual from the ESC cable. We're gonna do that first because it's really easy. How we do that is we get a little pin or like a flathead screwdriver. And we need to get one of those. Actually, I'll get a lock pick that I have here. Yes, and yes, if you're wondering, yes, I do keep lock picks in my house. I should really bring them with me though. So I don't know. So because these, again, like I mentioned previously, because they are not opto ESCs, you have to take out, when it comes to the NASA, you take out all of the wires negative, positive, and leave the signal. Because if they're opto ESCs, it comes without a BEC, and the reason why is because this has a BEC in it. And BEC stands for Battery Eliminator Circuit, and it basically keeps a solid 5 volts to sorry, it takes 5 volts from your receiver to power. Actually, though, the main power is from the board here. It's just for the 5 volts, right? So this is a built-in BEC. I'll show you a standalone BEC I have here. Click. Where are you? There you are. And always make sure to turn off your soldering iron too after you're done with it, because you don't want that to happen. I've left it on a bunch of times. So here's a BEC, a standalone BEC. This here hooks up to your main battery connection, and this plugs into your receiver. So why would you want one of these? Let's say you have a lot of servos, and basically and you're pulling more amps than your actual ESC can handle. And keep in mind, this is for a plane, so you have one ESC. If you're running multiple servos on one ESC and it can't handle it, then you just have your BEC so that you could power everything with a nice solid current. That's the only thing. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the negative and positive off. Just do that so you avoid problems, and it's better. So you just cut it off and cut it off. Make sure these won't touch anywhere. That's good. That's good. That's that. I have a bunch of these little half zip ties because I ran out of zip ties. So you gotta conserve it. So that's that. That's good. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna feed the actual feed the ESC through the arms. So you put in each of the motor connectors in first, and each of the bullet connectors for the motor in first. Then you just feed them through, and you can use those little medical clamps, I call them. Feed them through, then you're gonna feed this zip tie over them, and it does fit, and that's good. Now all you gotta do is just feed this in. I'll show you what everything. So that's how it looks, and you're gonna feed your ESC wire right through the arm, and you're gonna plug it right into the corresponding motor output. So this is number 1, and how you know 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of them are different. Some flight controllers have it laid out differently. NASA is done that way. From the farthest right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So some of the other ones go 1, 3, 5, or whatever it is. Just keep that in mind. So now, plug it into the M1, which is motor 1. And then this is on the front of the NASA itself. And your signal wants to be facing down. Do not, under any circumstances, put it upwards. You could blow the ESC or you could blow the actual board, and you wouldn't like that because you're going to spend money. So now you have a whole bunch of negative and positives lying around. We're going to hook in the actual motor now. And it doesn't matter which way you plug these in. There's no polarity. If your motor is spinning backwards, all you would have to do is just reverse 2 of the motor wires to make it go the right way, and that's it. So when you're looking at it from here, here's motor 1, 2, 3, and 4. Motors 1 and 3 must spin counterclockwise, and motors 2 and 4 must spin clockwise in order to make a quad fly. Now a hexacopter, obviously you have 3 motors going clockwise, and you have 3 motors, and then you have 3 motors going counterclockwise. So that's that. Okay, so that's in there, and what we can do now is hopefully have an aircraft that's all together. And also, while we're here, you want to check and make sure that all of your connections are in right. Now, right off the bat, I can see a problem here. Actually, it's not a problem, but when I first got this was like this in the EXP port. EXP's expansion port, that's if you have a GPS. LED means your LED module. This is your LED module. This must be plugged into the LED to work, or else it's not going to recognize on the computer, and that's going to be a bad day. And also, your GPS, which is chilling in here in the box, it's sleeping, but I gotta wake you up. Sorry, GPS. This plugs into the EXP, the expansion port. Usually when you buy a NASA, it won't come with it, but these days you can get them. You can get anything with this. You can get the NASA M Lite with the flight controller for about $210. Depends where you go. And that's how this wires up. Plug it in there. I'm gonna take this out now because it's not relevant right now. And what I'm gonna hopefully do is hopefully I can power this thing on, and I can see whether this is running right. So let me get the battery, and it's done charging. So I'm going to turn the radio on first. It's always important to turn the radio on first. And usually for this step, you should put a piece of tape on every single motor so you can know which way it's turning. But I'm not going to be revving this thing all the way on full RPM. I'm just going to make sure these are somewhat tight, these are somewhat good, whatever, okay, so we know it works. And we're going to match our polarities up, plug it in, and in here, it's all doing, it's talking, it's saying, you know, how's it going? And it's flashing red because that is not, because the battery has to be reset again. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the sticks together to do the CSC command, and hopefully this thing fires on. Which it looks like it's not, so... Okay, so this doesn't fire on. So what we got to do is we have to go into the assistant software and open that up and see what this thing is doing. We have to... Actually, I know what the problem is. It's not hooked up to the damn receiver. Rookie mistake! So what we gotta do is quickly plug everything in, making note of which way everything goes. So A, let me go to aileron on this, and on the spectrum, the negative is facing down. It's clearly labeled there. You can go aileron, elevator, elevator, throttle, and then rudder. And all of your flight modes and stuff is not going to matter, so we're not going to plug that in. And we're going to plug back this external satellite receiver here. And same procedure. We're going to turn the radio back on, plug in. It goes like da-da-da-da-da, does all its this chimes and stuff it does. So we're going to try this again, hopefully it works. So you can see right off the bat, this motor here is jittering a bit, so I got to figure out why that is. The rest of the motors work. So I'm going to figure that out, and I will get back to you.